Hello, everyone. Today I wanted to talk about all these articles that are out there regarding air travel. They give all kinds of suggestions and they're guides to, flying with your wheelchair. And, sometimes they sound a little off in terms of their vocabulary or their directions, and it is because they are. They're written for a different country. so so we have to be careful what guide or what recommendations we scoop up to help us to fly. So there are, articles out there from England, from Australia, from Germany, from Switzerland, and they're all very, very different because the region, the airport, the airlines that they chose is different. So we really have to be cautious in terms of what we choose. If you're going to fly out of the U.S., find an article that's specific to the U.S. If you're flying out of Europe or the UK or France or Germany, you're going to need kind of like a guide that is written for that country. So, a lot of people are putting a lot of efforts into writing these articles, and that's great. It's just that I want to call to people to make sure that you choose the right guide or the right suggestions for your area, for your country, for your airport, for your airlines, because every airlines is different, every airport is different. So we have to just be cautious in that sense because there's just a plethora right now of all kinds of articles giving suggestions on how to fly out with your wheelchair. So, I will post in the description box a few of these articles so that you can look at the difference of one and the other, that you can pick and choose. Be choosy about what you pull out for yourself when you're flying. Just a little story on my end was that I went through a website and I booked my flight. And then due to family issues and stuff, we had to change the date. So I had to go back, and it was a nightmare to change it because I didn't do it directly through the airlines. So the airlines wasn't going to take responsibility, that I had to go back to the website. And you know how it is to be able to find someone behind an email to respond to you to help you change that flight. So So the airlines recommended, always book directly with us or directly with whatever airline you're flying in case you have to make changes. So then the airlines has to take responsibility and help you through that. Uh, I'm like, oh, well, it was just the moment, and we really had to figure out a way of how I was going to change dates. So, and we were able to resolve it. I went back to the website where I had booked my flight and was able to get a hold of somebody on the phone. So then we worked towards, changing the flight. But it wasn't easy. So, and I don't think either way, if I had booked directly with the airlines, it wouldn't have been easy to change it. And it wouldn't have been easy to change it through the website where I went. So So what's the magic step? I don't know. Flying is just definitely hard these days, just hard. And that's all there is to it. So you have to find, when you're booking, you got to be careful when you're booking. You got to be careful what you request. You have to be very clear as to what you need at the airport and with the airlines. So, those are the two areas where we need to be really zeroed in and make sure that we were clear on what we needed. And if we have to have somebody else call for us, that's fine. We can do that. But be very, very clear in terms of what your physical needs are. Do you need a wheelchair when you get there at the airport? Are you going to use your own wheelchair? What kind of tags do you need to put on your wheelchair to make sure that that wheelchair gets pulled out from the cargo and brought to the airplane door when you're disembarking? So it's just those little annoying details that we have to make sure that we get it right, at least on our end. So what happens after that is anybody's guess. So so really make a list for yourself, depending on your country, your province, your region, the airport, the airline you're going to use, and make sure you check off your needed boxes. And carry that piece of paper with you so that you know, okay, I did call for this, I did call for that, I did call for this, because for me, this is where the personal issues come in. For me, some of my medications affect my memory. So, did I call and say I needed a wheelchair? I'm not going to remember 24 hours later, possibly. So, or they might say you never did call, and you're going to have your piece of paper and your note saying you did call, what date and what time. So that's really important for all of us to make it personal and to make it that it applies to our personal needs, to that particular airport, to that particular airlines. You might have a great experience with one airlines, and then you book with that airline again at another time, and it was awful. So it's just not going to be easy, however we slice it. But I guess my call is to make a list and a guide for you that fits you, your personal needs for that particular airport and for that particular airlines. So, and check boxes or dates or whatever you want to do that, or have somebody do it for you and hand you, this is what we did. This is what's scheduled. This is what was requested. So, it's hard for us to fly with our wheelchairs, period. Let alone picking out the wrong guide from someone who is in England, from someone who's in Australia, for someone who's in France and wrote this generic guide to flying. So, I will post some articles from different countries, the US and the UK and other places, so that you can see the differences and what you really wouldn't do in the UK or what you really wouldn't do in the United States. So this is hard, folks. It's not easy. So I'm just saying there's a plethora right now of guides on how to fly, and they don't always apply to you. So, there's going to be good ideas here and there, and you can pick those out and say, oh, yeah, I should do this. Oh, yeah, this will work for me, so that you can do, certainly. And there are generic things that you can certainly do, like, packing your suitcase. That's like, we all have to pack a suitcase, and we all have to figure out, how we're going to eat, or, what's the best way to make sure we eat, make sure we drink at certain hours, because we can't use the bathroom on the airplane, So it's what I'm going to say. It's some of that, and it's all of that that we need to make a list if we're flying actively at least once, twice, 3, 5 times a year, that we have, a plan that works for me, and certainly to pick out those little kernels of wisdom from these articles that are coming out in regards to flying with my wheelchair or with your wheelchair or several wheelchairs. So let's be prudent. Let's, pick out what's going to work for me, and, thank people who write these articles because they do take out their time and out of their busy schedules. They're very passionate about it and they want everyone to be safe. So they mean well that, they want to advocate and they want to give you the best information. It's just that sometimes they forget when they're making these videos or they're making these articles, they don't mention the country in which they are writing from or for. So I think that it's also a call to these writers, and it's a call to the YouTubers or video makers that you say, what country is this for? So that, someone's not following directions from somewhere else that doesn't apply to the country they're in or to the province they're in or the state they're in. So that's really important. I don't want people to be, misguided or take the wrong guide for flying with your wheelchair. So that's all I had. Please put down your thoughts and your suggestions, good things that have happened to you, poor things that have happened to you. I don't know. But, I think all these articles are coming out due to the move in the information that's gone out about Delta creating a model for, us being able to fly in the airplane itself. So I think a plethora of these articles are going to continue to come out. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And thank you especially for listening to another Wheelchair Wednesday chat. Just as a reminder, we have changed names from Power Wheelchairs for Success to World Wheelchair Warriors. So go Warriors! So thank you sincerely for all your likes, for all your comments, for your subscriptions. All of that helps the channel grow and spread throughout YouTube. Just coming on YouTube and watching videos helps a lot. It tells the algorithm how we're doing, and we want to let them know that we're doing well and we're doing great in posting information that's useful to all of you. So if you have any suggestions, ideas, or experiences you've been through airports or airlines, feel free to share. That helps the rest of us. All right, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.